gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Peak IDV Live is starting now. I'm pleased to introduce your host, Steve Craig, founder and Chief Enablement Officer of Peak IDV. Take it away, Steve.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Steve Craig, your host today for Peak IDV Demo Day. Are you ready for demos on this fine Thursday? I am. I've got my demo shades on. I've got my demo blast jacket protecting me from the fiery hotness of all these demos, and my beard's even on point. I'm super excited to take you through these 9 innovative companies to showcase their demos. Peak IDV Demo Day was actually inspired by many of the podcast episodes I've conducted through Executive Series. Some of the companies have asked me, hey, can we showcase a demo or have other speakers within our company come on your podcast? The podcast is going to continue to be conversational and an interview style with executives, change makers, and thought leaders. But I thought, why not take that demand and turn it into a live stream event? And that's how Peak IDV Demo Day came to be. The Peak IDV audience is still growing, so I've enlisted stream partners to increase visibility of these demos and to make this event a huge success. Let's talk about each of our stream partners. First up is Marketplace Risk in the Marketplace Risk Management Conference. This event is next week in San Francisco. It's from May 14th to May 16th. It's the only conference designed for marketplace and digital platform founders and leaders. If you're a marketplace or a digital platform, you can get 50% off with my discount code, SteveCraig50. Go to marketplacerisk.com to learn more about this event. Our next stream partner is Acuity Market Intelligence and the Prism Project. The Prism Project is a new paradigm for understanding the emerging digital identity ecosystem. You can learn more about Acuity Market Intelligence and the Prism Project by going to acuitymi.com or the-prism-project.com. Our next stream partner is KYC AML Guide. KYC AML Guide compares and contrasts KYC solutions to make KYC technology buying processes fair and simple. You can follow KYC AML Guide on LinkedIn or go to their website, kycaml.guide. Our fourth partner is Kernal. Kernal is a streaming platform and community where you can pitch your startup to top angels, VCs, and accelerators. Kernal has a unique platform for you to showcase your pitch deck, your demos, and other things that help you get found and get funded. You can learn more about Kernal by going to kern.al. Our final stream partner is Doug OGorden and Doug OGorden's Access ID to Entry. Embrace the technology, avoid the sting. Doug talks a lot about BIPA through his BIPA Buzz website, which you'll find at bipabuzz.com. Today on Demo Day, I'm also happy to announce Peak IDV Basecamp San Francisco 2024. This is our first in-person live digital identity verification bootcamp and networking event that's been designed exclusively for Bay Area marketplaces, digital platforms, and tech companies. This event's coming up in July. If you'd like to learn more about this event, go to peakidv.com. There you can purchase your tickets or express interest in the event to hold your spot. Next announcement. In today's demo day, we will be anointing a best of show. After each demo is presented, you're going to see a slide that will contain the QR code and instructions on how you can vote for best of show. You'll be able to vote for up to 3 companies, and you'll have until May 16th to do so. Let's talk briefly about today's demo format. Each company has been asked to provide a 90-second or less promo video. This promo video will display right before each presenter does their demo. Each presenter has 7 minutes to complete their demo. And yes, there is a 7-minute shot clock that counts down while they present. Finally, there is a single call to action slide that will display for 30 seconds. These are instructions on how you can engage with each company if you're interested. I'll also share with you at the end of each demo how you can vote for Best of Show with our Slido poll. Let me show you how this is going to work in practice. First of all, you'll see the main demo right in the middle of the screen. You'll see the presenter in the bottom corner. You'll see the company logo on the right, and right above it is the clock that starts counting down right after our starting timer. As soon as you see that flash, you know it's demo time and the clock has started. To kick things off today, let me share with you today's demo order. Wow, we have 9 companies, a lot of demos to get through. We're going to get started right away. Our first company is Veridas with demo presenter Marta Moraz.
Okay, great. Well, hello everyone. I'm Marta Moraz, the marketing director at Veridas, and I'm actually quite in a hurry. I have a meeting with a friend in a few minutes, but I need to open an account first. So I did a little bit of research and I saw that Veritas Bank has a superior customer experience. So walk me through the onboarding process. So I'll click on the Become a Customer button, and as you can see, it shows me what I need. So I have my phone, my ID, and I'm ready to verify my identity. So I'll start the onboarding process by submitting my email and my phone number. I am now offered the chance to complete the process on my phone, but as I said, I'm really in a hurry, so I'll continue on my laptop because it's going to be faster. I now need to choose the type of identity document that I'll choose, which for me is an ID. And I don't need to select the country because that's automatic. So I just need to show the document to the screen. The capture is automatic as well. So I don't need to do anything. And now I show the back of it. Again, this capture is automatic. And that is it. And now I take a selfie to ensure it's me using my identity document and not anyone else. And I finally signed the contract with Veridas Bank, which I just need to put my initials here on my name, and it's automatically signed with my biometrics as well. So I confirm everything is correct. And that is it. I believe it took fewer than 2 minutes to complete. And I'll leave to have lunch with my friend. And that's how easy it is to complete an onboarding process with Veridas technology. I will now show you what happens on the back end as well. So let's go to our identity management dashboard. Obviously, this is happening in real time as well, so we need to wait for a few seconds for the validation to load. But here we'll be able to see what security measures we've carried out to verify the document and also the facial biometrics. So this process is completely automated and powered by artificial intelligence. So it should be here any minute now. Bear with me. I'll refresh the browser. And here it is. So I click on it, and as you can see, I passed all the security measures that we applied to the process. We extract all the information present on the identity document. So there's no need for the customer to filling anything manually. It's all done automatically. And here you can see the number of tests that we carry out on the document for both logic in terms of data, so that data has not been modified, and also document authenticity, so material and screen replay attacks and so on. We can also see the facial biometrics comparison to the picture on the document and some other contextual data that is gathered also from the type of device that is used by the customer. So now I'm back from having lunch with my friend, and I didn't pay because I didn't have any money. So she paid, and I need to make a transfer to her. So what I'll do is I log in into my new account for Veridas Bank and make a money transfer. So I'll put my email, and I don't need any passwords. It's just my face. And here I'm inside my account, and I'll just go to make a transfer to my friend Claudia for lunch and the 20 euros I owe her. Again, to authorize this transaction, I don't need a code, I don't need a password, and I don't need to share any personal information. I click on proceed, and the transfer is done. So this is how fast, easy, and secure it is to use biometrics for account opening and also passwordless authentication. And now I'm going to show the voice biometric authentication solution that we have as well. So bear with me. And now you can see my phone, which is live as well. And I'm going to enroll myself in the system. With just 3 seconds of audio, I'm enrolled in the system for future transactions. And now I can authenticate myself again, just 3 seconds, any language. So as you can see, I got a 99% for similarity with the audio of the registration. And I will now play a recording of myself to show how we prevent pre-recorded audios for identity theft. So let me do this. Hello, this is Marta, and I want to authorize a money transfer. So as you can see, the system recognized that it was me. That's why it gave an 82% for the similarity score of the biometric audio. But then it says it's a pre-recorded voice. So this is a very important feature that we have to ensure that no fraud is committed. It also works for deep fakes, which are, very trendy right now. And we have just launched this product as a standalone as well, without a link to biometric registration. So you can use this in every call, in every interaction, regardless of the authentication method that you're using. So that was it. I hope you liked Veridas technologies for the banking industry and obviously other industries such as insurance, telcos, transports, and happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Everyone, that was Marta Moraz from Veridas. 2 people in the world use Veridas technology every second. Lead the identity revolution. Scan this QR code if you'd like to learn more about Veridas. Don't be shy. Go ahead and scan it. And if you'd like to vote for Veridas for Best of Show, go to slido.com or scan this QR code. Our next demo coming up is Tony Bryan of Mesh.
Hi, my name's Tony Bryan, and I am the Chief Technology Officer here at Mesh. And I'm going to be showing you today our multi-factor verification product. And in particular, I'm going to be showing you how you can get up and running with Mesh with no code required in a matter of minutes. So our product builds customized workflows for our customers. The types of verifications we support in this workflow could be things like a professional license verification, business entity verification against Secretary of State, TIN number checks. We do certificate of insurance verification as well. You can think of all of these verification types as Lego bricks or building bricks that you can assemble into a customized workflow to suit your business use case. The example I'm going to show you here is a workflow for a fictitious company called Circle. This is a company that we used for demo purposes. And you can think of Circle as being a home services marketplace. So consumers go to circle.com and find verified professionals to work on their homes or whatever. And Circle have asked Mesh to build a workflow that verifies business identity and professional license. That's the customized workflow they'd like us to put together. So what I'm showing you here is a dynamically generated user interface for Circle that is based off that workflow that we've built for them. So nothing I'm showing you here is custom coded for Circle. This is all created through configuration and can be set up in a matter of minutes. The URL for this form here can have a customer-specific alias for it, something that's business-friendly. So it could be Circle onboarding, something like that. And it's a URL that you can send out to the professionals that you want to get verified that's nice and human readable. They click on it, they arrive at this form. This dynamically generated form is mobile ready. And you can embed it in your website. You can embed it behind a logged in experience. There's lots of different ways to incorporate this user interface into your experience so that you can onboard and verify the professionals and businesses you're interested in. This first screen here just gives the individual some information about what they're about to go through. My persona here is that of perhaps a general contractor or an electrician that wants to list on the Circle Home website. So here I'm told what I'm going to go through, that Mesh doesn't sell data. We take security and privacy very seriously. And this just tells me what I'm about to do. The first step is every individual, every business that goes through a Mesh verification has a unique account. So we're going to go ahead and register an email address with Mesh. And in the background, I'm going to be sent a one-time passcode to verify that I do actually own this email account. And there we go. I'm going to grab that passcode. And we're into the flow. This screen here is the first of the 2 building blocks that Circle has selected for their workflow. This is the business verification building block. I have a real-life example here that I'm going to paste in. So we have a company name. We have an address. And we have a tax identification number, which will be verified against the IRS. We also collect a website. This isn't verified in any way. It's just there for information. And we make it clear which jurisdiction we're working in, which in this case is Florida. So you can see how super easy it is to collect information for a business verification. And again, this is all dynamically generated. There's no custom code here. And this can be set up in minutes. The next step is professional license. And this individual also has a license. You'll note that we ask for the name again on the license, and that's because we know that a lot of people with professional licenses actually have a different licensee name than they have on their business registration. So we make sure we collect the actual licensee name there. And this individual is a general contractor. And then I go ahead and click submit. So you can see how quick and easy it is for a professional with very limited time to get their data into the system and get the verification kicked off. While we're waiting for that verification to come through, this is a real verification. It's going to take about 60 seconds. I want to show you some of the email verifications that we send to these professionals. And this is one of the things that makes Mesh different. We take care of reaching out to the businesses and entities that you're working with to help them to get through the process, if that's what you want us to do. In this case, Circle said, yep, get us up and running, take care of getting professionals through the flow, help us out. So we'll see a successfully verified email shortly. But one of the things we might see is perhaps there was a problem getting verified. So here the message says, Circle engaged us to verify your business, Joe's Plumbing. And here are some of the examples of things we might find. We couldn't verify the business because of name, address, or TIN. Maybe an insurance policy was not compliant with Circle's requirements, or maybe the professional license was inactive. We also monitor licenses. So one of the things you might see is, hey, your license is no longer in good standing. You need to go and talk to the state board, or maybe renew your license or do something. So we monitor licenses and other types of verifications continuously so that you, the customer, know that the businesses you're working with are always in good standing. So I, as the electrician or the plumber or general contractor, would get this email. It would let me know that I've got a problem that I need to go fix. And when I fixed it, I then get the update saying, yep, you're now compliant again. So we actually get a lot of great feedback from professionals and business entities on this. We've had notifications from people telling us that they had no idea their license had been suspended or had expired, and thanks for letting us know. So this is one of the really cool things that we do here at Mesh. Let's take a look and see if our verifications come through. Let's refresh. There it is. You have been successfully verified. So you can see that took about 60 seconds, 90 seconds or something like that to come through. And that's the end of the process. Thank you for watching the demo.
Thank you, Tony. Everyone, that was Tony Bryan of Mesh. Mesh is the only real-time B2B verification API for professional licenses, insurance coverage, and SMB legitimacy. If you're interested in learning more about Mesh, scan this QR code or go to meshverify.com. And if you're interested in voting for Mesh for Best of Show, go to slido.com, put in PeakIDV, or scan this QR code. Our next demo is Keyless with Fabian Aberle.
Hello, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fabian, co-founder and COO at Keyless. Keyless is a passwordless authentication company and world leader in privacy-preserving biometric authentication, the only company that doesn't store biometric data anywhere. We work with banks, fintechs, governments, and enterprises to combat account takeover fraud, to increase operational efficiencies, improve the user experience, and ensure regulatory compliance to data protection and open banking requirements. We're an independent private company headquartered in Europe with 3 offices globally, including a team in the US. At Keyless, we pioneer a novel, patented approach to biometrics that we call zero-knowledge biometric authentication, a passwordless multi-factor authentication capability that allows us to authenticate both the genuine identity of the user, which includes a passive liveness check, in addition to verifying their device, any device with a 720-pixel camera or more, with one simple look, and on average around 300 milliseconds. This means that Keyless bridges the gap from identity verification to ongoing authentication, allowing organizations to re-authenticate their users across the entire lifecycle. In business terms, this means that we're able to lower account takeover fraud by 70%, reduce call center volumes via self-service account recovery by 90%, and reduce the dependencies on SMS OTPs by 95%. And now, I'm happy to showcase Keyless to you live. I hope you like it. Thank you. Cool. So here we are. I'm going to show you 2 demos today, a financial services application, so a banking demo, and a wallet application. We're going to showcase the enrollment and login use cases. So what you'll see here on the screen is my phone where I just downloaded a banking application. I'm going to onboard for the very first time. I'm going to go through an identity verification process, which is something that we complement to then making this initial template reusable for ongoing authentication, completely agnostic to which vendor is being used, whether that's a purple, yellow, blue, or green vendor that you may be using, to then perform a step-up authentication to authorize a payment against the strong customer authentication requirements under the Bank and Payment Service Directive 2 in Europe, and offering a self-service account recovery. So what I'm going to do here now is onboarding for the first time. I'm going to use an email address that I just typed in, fabian@peakidv.com. I'm going to confirm this, and this starts the enrollment process. So what we do next is that we capture my face. In the background, we're generating a device key pair to bind this device to this account that is being created. We performed a passive liveness check. We're going to transform this facial information into what we call zero-knowledge biometric data, so a one-way cryptographic transformation. And this information is then stored server-side, which could be hosted on public cloud, private cloud, or on-premise. Very important, the information that is being stored is completely unlinkable to myself as the actual human being. So it's very different from server-side encryption or biometric hashing. It's also different to decentralized storage of biometric data. It's truly privacy preserving and doesn't constitute biometric information from a data regulation perspective. So this flow includes an ID&V capture. So I'm going to capture an old document of mine that the ID&V vendor, our partner, would carry out. So we're matching against my government-issued ID. We're creating this identity. For demo purposes, we can set up a PIN code that we're going to leverage in the recovery journey later on. And we've onboarded to this account. So the account creation process takes around 3 to 5 seconds, or could be done transparently in the background without any user interaction required. So we can leverage existing templates that our partner has on file that the ID&V vendor or themselves have captured in the past. So we're able to perform a backend-to-backend batch enrollment of existing users to activate this device key pair and that zero-knowledge biometric profile that is then activated with the first authentication the user makes. So completely transparent, which ensures rapid and quick adoption. So what I'm able to do now is transfer money, look at my personal profile, I could, for example, change my address information. Say we're changing this to a different address, and we're going to approve this address change with a look into the camera, whereby we verify the user's device in addition and separate to the passive liveness and facial recognition, and that transaction has now been authorized. In addition, we can perform transfers. So in Europe, any online payment above 30 euros is mandated to be authenticated with multiple factors, so possession, inheritance, or knowledge, and dynamic linking, which binds that transaction to the amount and the recipient. So we're going to perform a payment of $1,000. We're going to confirm this transaction, click on confirm, and we're going to verify the device by performing a zero-knowledge proof against that device key. In addition and separate, we're performing passive liveness and facial recognition, and that payment is authorized. Now imagine the user loses this device, forgets that device, doesn't have access to the device, whatever may happen. So this device doesn't exist anymore, takes a new device that the user still has at home. So I have a different device here, actually an iPhone, not an Android device, where I download the same app, and I'm going, rather than setting a new account, going through another ID and vFlow, calling the support center, or physically show up in the branch, I'm able to recover my account self-service by providing my unique identifier. In this case, we've used the email address. This could be the contract number or the account number. So this was fabian@peakidv.com. And I'm able to recover my account by performing the PIN to harden that flow. Again, this was optional. This could be an email OTP. And I'm able to verify my face and back up those device keys on this new device that I'm able to use going forward. So what I can do now is carry out payments without having to enroll myself. So if I'm going to send a payment to the same gentleman, I'm able to authorize this payment with a simple look in the camera without having to re-enroll myself. And I know that it was this device that I've used. We're able to show all this information in a dashboard that the admin can look at. So we're capturing the device, the user, and we know that that transaction has been carried out by a particular user at a given point in time. So the second demo I wanted to show is a wallet application. So in Europe, with the European wallets, one big challenge here is how do we tie a wallet to the actual user and a genuine identity rather than just a device. So we're working with one of the European governments on a project, in this example, a wallet that you see here where the user is able to register. So we're showing the enrollment, which is done in a very same or similar fashion. The user looks into the camera of the device. We're generating the device key pair to bind this device to that wallet, independent of performing the passive liveness facial and transforming this facial information into zero-knowledge biometric data, which we store server-side. Now the user can access the wallet and log into that wallet application with their face. Again, in the background, we're assuring that possession element, we're capturing the selfie, perform the passive liveness, match this information. On the device, we reconstruct a private key, and the user is now into the wallet. So we can perform selective disclosure of their identity attributes and essentially log into the wallet in a frictionless and seamless way. So what Keyless does is bridging the gap from the initial identity verification through to ongoing authentication in a simple, secure, and above all, privacy-preserving manner where our partners can be assured that there's no biometric data that is stored, truly privacy-preserving, and done in a way that looks and feels the same across any end-user device the user wants to use. The only requirement, a basic 720-pixel camera. With that, I very much look forward to continuing the conversation with you. I wish you a great day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fabian. Everyone, that was Fabian Aberle with Keyless. With Keyless, there's nothing to remember, nothing to steal. You are the key. You can get a personalized demo or try it yourself. Scan this QR code or go to keyless.io. And if you'd like to vote for Keyless for Best of Show, go to slido.com. and punch in Peak IDV or scan this QR code. Our next demo is Anonybit with Jessica Vinitsky.
Anonybit provides digital security and protects user privacy. Meet with our subject matter experts and learn how to prevent account takeover attacks by seamlessly connecting digital onboarding to downstream authentication, eliminating fraud, reducing the risk of data breaches, and ensuring regulatory compliance. With Anonybit, you can eliminate passwords by implementing biometrics for dependable security. Leverage the selfie taken at enrollment for authentication across all customer service channels with no added user friction. Enable self-service account recovery. And protect consumer data and digital assets, all with one modular, patent-pending decentralized infrastructure platform. With account takeover fraud up 90% year over year, despite $23 billion being spent on cybersecurity this year alone, it is clear that the current approach to user authentication is not working. With Anonybit, you can be confident you are closing the gaps that attackers exploit, leveraging the latest privacy by design technologies for maximum security and compliance. Anonybit, the future of privacy and security.
Hi, I'm Jessica Vinitsky, and I'll be walking you through the Anonybit system today. So let's face it, fraud persists because we rely on weak authenticators to validate our identity, when the truth is the only real way to make sure someone is who they claim to be is with biometrics. Yet most organizations are afraid of storing biometrics due to the risks of data breaches. And that's where Anonybit comes in. Our innovative tech overcomes this concern, eliminating data breaches and account takeover fraud. We empower organizations to use biometrics across the entire user lifecycle as the main way to authenticate users, minimizing reliance on username and passwords, or even eliminating them altogether. Essentially, helping organizations know who's actually behind a device and every single interaction. Instead of storing biometrics in centralized honeypots, we shard the data into anonymized components and distribute the data across different nodes, where they never come out, even during the matching process. When we do want to authenticate a user, we repeat the process by breaking up the biometric again and comparing the new bit against its stored counterpart. And in the end, only the computations are what come back to the system. So the pieces are never reassembled, and there's no way to recreate the original biometric image. So it's really a one-way street, which makes it hack-proof even for insiders. So with this approach, we can do three things. The first is one-to-one biometric matching for authentication with any biometric algorithm or modality like selfie, palm, fingerprint, iris, etc. The second is one-to-many lookups to detect duplicates or matches against a block list. And the third is secure data storage and retrieval for non-biometric data, like document scans, passkeys, and raw images. In our demo today, I'll walk you through these functionalities and show you how they work under the hood. So now let's bring it to life by starting with the authentication. So I'll enter my phone number here and take a selfie like I normally would by positioning my face in the oval that appears on the screen. The system will run a one-to-one search in the background to verify my identity. And as you can see, just like that, I'm successfully authenticated. If I click on Present Data Decentralization, you can see how the different nodes return a score and the system compiles them into an authentication score. Now let's do a one-to-many lookup by enrolling me. So before enrolling, individuals must provide explicit consent, so we'll consent. Next, we'll add my phone number. and take a selfie again. In the backend, the system conducts a search for the same selfie in the decentralized biometric cloud. As you can see, the system found matches and shows a short list of potential matches. For this demo, we're pulling the images directly from the decentralized data vault, which I'll show you in a moment, for manual adjudication. We set a specific threshold, but this aspect is completely configurable. So the system can return the top match or anything really that's above the designated threshold, or even automatically let someone in or not. So we'll go ahead and confirm the match, and as you can see, my enrollment has failed. So that covered the authentication piece, but now let's go explore the decentralized data vault itself. So today, I'm going to show you 2 examples of how the decentralized data vault can be used, but note that there are many use cases for it. So the first example I'll show you is the secure storage and retrieval of a data string. Think of it like a token that can be linked to the biometric, so only the authorized user can retrieve it, like a passkey scenario. So I'll enter a key and add a value. So this is my social security number, let's say, and we'll go ahead and store it. Now that it's stored, let's go ahead and retrieve it by entering the key that was used during the storage process. And we'll submit. Upon retrieval, you'll notice that the data appears as 2 meaningless strings, which is a visualization of how the data is anonymized and split. And for the demo, we split it into 2 pieces. However, when we combine the pieces by clicking on Get Item, the 2 pieces will come back together and the original string that we stored will be intact. So there's my social security number. The second example I'm going to show you is the storage and retrieval of a raw image. The process remains the same, but in this case, I'm going to take a selfie and store it in the decentralized cloud data vault. And we'll go ahead and add a key again and store it. Now that it's stored, let's go retrieve it by entering the same key. Just like before, the raw image gets split into anonymized pieces and brought back together again. For example, for the purpose of manual adjudication in the one-to-many scenario that I showed you before. Storing the raw images in the data vault also allows for future-proofing your biometric system for any algorithm updates, investigations, or audits. You can use this functionality for storing documents, videos, or really any sensitive data. So I just showed you the 3 underlying capabilities of the Anonybit Genie, our integrated identity management platform that empowers and connects the entire user lifecycle from digital onboarding to authentication and account recovery, and across all channels such as digital, at the help desk, in-store or in branch, and therefore eliminating the gaps that fraudsters love to exploit. Thank you for listening.
Everyone, that was Jessica Vinitsky. Thank you, Jessica. If you're interested in learning more about Anonybit, go to anonybit.io, or you can also scan this QR code. And if you'd like to vote for Anonybit for Best of Show, go to slido.com, punch in PeakIDV, or scan this QR code. Our next demo is Paravision, presented by Eric Zirakov.
Thank you, Steve. Paravision is a technology provider of identity AI software, and today I'm going to give you a very quick review of 3 new Paravision products: liveness detection, age estimation, and deepfake detection. The demos I'm showing you today are internal demos that we use to showcase functionality. It's our partners who provide applications and SaaS services to end users. So let's start off with our 2D liveness detector. The goal of Paravision 2D liveness was to enable a detector that is accurate and very easy to use. By ease of use, I mean we wanted to provide a passive capture experience to the end user. That means no scripted movements and just natural environmental lighting. Once a suitable pose and illumination is detected, we automatically capture the image, send it to the server for liveness evaluation. As of January 2024, our software was certified at iBeta Level 2 with no errors in judgment of either imposter or bona fide images, and every attempt to use the system was successful. So let me show you how that works. Here you see a live view of my iPhone screen, and I'm going to do an enrollment. I'll start off deliberately off camera, and you can see I'm being prompted to move to the left because I'm off center. If I overcompensate and move to the right, it tells me to move the camera to the right. If I'm too far away, I'm prompted to move it closer. Now I'll move it close to do the final capture. And here you can see I've passed the liveness test. Let me try now with a deliberate spoof. I'm going to switch to the rear-facing camera, and I've got a cutout photo of me there that I'll try to spoof with. There you can see it detected the spoof accurately with a cutout photo. So now I'll move on to our next demo, which is Paravision age estimation. Similar to our 2D liveness detection, age estimation is also based on a single frame analysis sent to the API so that 2D liveness, age estimation, and deepfake detection can all be evaluated in a single API call, reducing code integration complexity and providing operational simplicity. Importantly, age estimation is independent of face matching and the use of personal data, and that enables fully private age detection assurance to support an individual's privacy. For this first release, we've achieved a high accuracy rate with a mean average error of 2.5 years across age groups, sex, and diverse population geographies. So let's take a look at some examples. Our Chief Product Officer, Joey, was kind enough to allow me to show you his pictures at 2 different ages. Here I'll load up the first age when he was a teenager. And you can see here that we've determined his age to be 16.4 years. He was actually 17 years old when the picture was taken, so we've determined that correctly. Another thing you'll notice is that the liveness indicator says that it's a spoof, and that's actually accurate because this is a picture of a picture. So it passed through 2 optical paths before we were able to present it here today. Let me bring up another image of him as he is today, a little bit older. Here you can see the liveness and real scores are correct, and his age is determined to be 41.6, which was well within the tolerance of our mean average error of 2.5 years. Now I'd like to turn your attention to the topic of deepfakes. Deepfake creation technology is moving along very fast, and there are many different implementations from face swaps to generated synthetic faces. And we're seeing an alarming increase in identity fraud and misleading video spoofs reported by our customers. In response to our customer requests, we launched Paravision Deepfake Detection. Our current implementation detects deepfakes from identity face swaps or video expression swaps based on a single image or single frames of a video stream. So let's take a look. To detect a deepfake, I first needed to generate one. So here I start with a sample driver's license. And with off-the-shelf software that's available today, I can create a deepfake ID using a single photo that's layered and merged onto the result. For reference, this is the person that I used as the deepfake model. It's remarkable how easy it is to do, and the effect, in my opinion, is stunning. it's difficult for me to discern this fake image from a real one. Notice that the deepfake preserved the watermark and the security marks that are overlaying on top of the image. So now let's go back to our demonstration software to show our detection. I'll go back here, I'll load up the original sample driver's license. And here you can see that once we've uploaded it, we've determined that the image was real, even though there's watermarks and security lines that are overlaid on top. If I now bring in the modified deepfake driver's license, you can see that with high certainty, we've determined that this is a deepfake. For my last demonstration, I want to show you deepfake detection on video that has been generated with face swap, also called identity swap. What you see here is our web UI that we developed for demonstrations that uses our server-side API to process the stream frame by frame for deepfake detection. On the screen, you'll see a green and red box, and on to the right of this, a score that indicates the authentic and deepfake detection. We consider a score above 800 to be authentic, a score below 800 to be a deepfake. I'll go ahead and play the video and the analysis. As you can see, the deepfake detector alert is changing on a frame-by-frame basis, according to our analysis. If I pause right about here, you can see we switched to a different deepfake face. What's remarkable here on the deepfake generation is that as he leans in, the environmental ambient light is still being reflected off of the deepfake face, as well as the geometry. Yet we still continue to detect that it's a deepfake, whether it's here or here. Well, with that, I think I've run out of time. For more information, please visit our website at paravision.ai. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Everybody, that was Eric Zirikov with Paravision. Reach out to Paravision and start building. You can go to their website at paravision.ai/contact to get your own personalized demo. And if you'd like to vote for Paravision for Best of Show, go to slido.com, punch in Peak IDV, or scan this QR code. Our next demo is iProov with Nikhil Kamdar.
In our increasingly digital world, people demand accessible, secure online services. Legacy security methods simply can't keep up. Complex passwords and clunky verifications frustrate users and hurt organizations' bottom lines. Meanwhile, fraudsters are getting smarter, even using AI to create deepfakes. So how can organizations be sure they're interacting with a genuine person in real time? With facial biometrics for remote identity verification. It's the most secure yet user-friendly way to verify identity. iProov science-based facial biometrics assures an individual is the right person, the real person, authenticating right now. It works seamlessly on any device, prioritizes privacy, and meets the toughest security standards. That's why governments and organizations worldwide trust iProov for the future of secure, effortless identity verification in a world of generative AI threats.
Hi everybody, I'm Nikhil Kamdar. I head up our global solution consultancy team. Today I'd like to talk to you about what iProov is and what makes us unique. In particular, iProov is a cloud-based facial biometric vendor where we offer remote onboarding and authentication technologies to customers specifically in the government and financial verticals. I'd like to begin with a very brief demonstration of a video where iProov is being used for remote onboarding, where we capture a individual's identity document, in this case in the demo, a passport, and then the imagery and the data is passed into iProov, ready for the remote liveness check, and then the result passed back. So just going into a bit more detail, let's run through this. So a mobile device is going to be used for the remote document imagery capture, which scanned the MRZ, the machine readable zone, which it carries the encryption code for the NFC chip. The device is then used to scan the NFC chip in the document, which then decodes the information on the chip. The high quality image is then enrolled into iProov, ready for an iProov scan. So this is a 2.5 seconds of our dynamic liveness technology, which we are determining whether the remote individual is not only the one which matched the image on the identity document, but also is a remote, genuine human on the other end. So I'd like to show you a demonstration video of this, which is a live demo, and I'm going to enroll myself. So very similar process, but without the document capture. So this is purely the iProov technology that I'll be showing. And here I can scan my face. So I'll scan my face, place the face in the oval. We have real-time feedback. And that was 2.5 seconds. So it's an extremely fast and quick process. It's analyzing my face, and you can see that the transaction has passed. Okay, so very quick, very simple, highly effective to use. So moving on to the next slide. iProov operates, as I mentioned, in the cloud. We are a very security conscious organization, and we are very focused on science. We process just over 20 million transactions per month, and we do that in a way which is fully automated and in a way that we can analyze every single transaction that goes through our system for biometric threats. So for every single biometric transaction that runs through our system, it is automatically being checked for advanced biometric threats such as deepfakes and digital injection attacks, and the list goes on. If we do see a threat, this is then flagged to our science team for further investigation, and of course to either build out the algorithm further or even build additional algorithms to be able to mitigate that type of attack. So what trends have iProov seen over 2023, for example? Every single year, iProov releases a biometric threat intelligence report, and one of the highest trends that we have seen are face swaps. The reason that this has been so effective for bad actors is that it allows a bad actor to create unlimited synthetic identities, which can be applied to a bad actor's face and therefore applied to an identity verification system. Fundamentally, if a biometric remote authentication system does not have the ability to detect these types of attacks, there's a high chance that they will slip through the system. It takes very highly skilled engineers to be able to develop these forms of algorithms, which iProov has, which of course are proprietary to us, which we are able to satisfy the requirements of high-risk transactional use cases, which typically banks and governments are using. Finally, there's a balance of performance, accessibility, and security when using the iProov system. There's no point building a highly secure system if you cannot use it. So the first area, iProov spends a lot of time around accessibility. For example, we are WCAG 2.2 AA and Section 508 accredited, which is fundamentally the gold standard for accessibility. So it doesn't matter whether an individual has disabilities, for example, photosensitivity, disabilities being able to follow instructions off a screen. And that is one of the biggest reasons why iProov is passive. So you look at the device looks back, you're authenticated. Okay. And then finally, we are deviceless, meaning the fact that we are a cloud-based service and we are omni-channel. So that means you can then onboard using your mobile device and then authenticate on the web and vice versa. Moving on, we have a lot of work around bias mitigation. We have balanced data sets, or we use balanced data sets, meaning that age range is everything from 18 to 90, and the use of different ethnicities are being used to train our algorithms. We also do new component testing. So any new component or algorithm that goes into our system, they independently get validated and certified before it actually starts making decisions as part of the iProov production system. We also undertake operational system testing as part of our strategy. And then finally, performance. The attempts to pass is 1.08 to 1.22 attempts to pass, typically versus 2.6 attempts for competitors. And likewise, our pass rates are over 98%, which are incredibly high for both native and web journeys. And then finally, we have processes for mitigations, for abandonment, for user abandonment, likewise for improving completion rate. So there's a number of ways that we do this, but one of the biggest ways for users is making sure that the process is passive and that we provide real-time feedback as part of the user journey. Thank you. That was a whistle-stop tour of the iProov technology and overview, and I'd love to have any questions as next steps.
Thank you, Nick. Everyone, that was Nikhil Kamdar with iProov, demonstrating their biometrics solution suite. If you're interested in learning more about iProov, go to iProov.com. And if you're interested in voting for iProov for Best of Show, go to slido.com, punch in PeakIDV, or scan this QR code. Our next demo is Trinsic with Riley Hughes.
Hi, my name is Riley Hughes. I'm one of the co-founders of Trinsic, and I'm here to talk to you about identity verification. We all know it's costly. It's not your user's favorite part of your onboarding flow, that's for sure. They've got to go fish out their document. It takes several minutes. You get the lighting just right. You dance your face around the camera. And overall, it leads to abandonment in a lot of cases. But it's really good at this corner of the market, which is businesses that have a high willingness to accept friction, but a low willingness to accept fraud. But in a world of artificial intelligence, when 25% of dating profiles are fake and you can hardly believe anything you see on the internet anymore, businesses are going to need to do a lot more identity verification, and people are going to end up re-verifying themselves over and over and over, even more than they already do. And this is why everybody's doing reusable identity now. Where a doc scan might take 150 seconds, reusable ID is at least 10x faster. And whether it's public sector with MDLs or private sector reusable ID networks, lots of people see the value here. And the goal, or the result, is that it will expand the market for identity verification into the rest of the businesses that have a lower willingness to accept friction but still want to reduce fraud. So what is Trinsic? We are a platform or infrastructure for building your own reusable ID ecosystems for your customers. We're also a network for consuming existing reusable IDs. So I'm excited to show you how it works. All right, so now I get to show you what this reusable identity stuff looks like. Unfortunately, we have 7 minutes to fill, and reusable identity only takes 10, 15 seconds to go end to end. So instead of just showing you the reusable identity stuff, I'm going to show you a whole process going from an initial identity verification to creating a reusable identity and then using the reusable identity. And I'm going to start off on my screen. You should see my browser and my phone on the right-hand side. In the browser, you'll see the logo for Lego. I picked Lego because, well, I don't know, I like Legos, and I don't know if they already do identity verification, so it seems like a safe bet. Imagine that Lego had to verify my identity. And as a user, I go to their website. I'm going to hit this button called Start Verifying. Now, what you'll see here is the Trinsic UI. Remember, we're an infrastructure platform. So this UI both serves as a demo to show you what you can build into your own identity verification product in terms of a reusable identity. It also is a product that businesses can use to verify identities from the Trinsic network. All right, I'm going to start here by putting in my phone number. This phone number acts as an identifier so that we can check to see whether a wallet there's already a wallet inside of the Trinsic ecosystem with a reusable identity associated with this phone number. So first thing I have to do is prove that this phone number is mine. And what do you know? There's not already an identity in our network. And so we're going to kick the user out to the phone to do an identity verification. So I'm going to scan this QR code, and it's going to open up identity verification flow in my browser. Now, because we don't have all the time in the world, normally you would be doing scanning an ID card, you'd be taking a selfie, you'd be moving your head around, smiling, whatever the identity verification company wanted you to be doing here to prove you are who you say you are. We're going to skip this for the sake of the demo. So we're going to use some dummy data. Now, this is the screen that a user would see after they've gotten their identity verified. The user now has the option to proceed with encrypting and saving their reusable identity or not. Now, in the past, creating a reusable identity usually meant downloading a mobile app. And if it wasn't a mobile app, it was like create a login to some third-party company, right? And those have both been challenges in the reusable ID space. But with the Trinsic infrastructure, you can create a reusable identity with nothing but a passkey registration. So you'll see that in order to create a reusable identity, I hit this button, I do a Face ID, and do one more Face ID, which stores cryptographic keys along with the passkey. And now my reusable identity is created. It's also been end-to-end encrypted, such that the reusable identity data from the ID and the photo of the ID and all the stuff associated with that is stored in the cloud. But it's end-to-end encrypted, so that, again, only the user can decrypt that data. So despite Trinsic hosting it, Trinsic can't access it. The original IDV company that completed that verification also can't access it unless they've separately stored that through some other privacy policy that they have. And again, only the user can access that data using the keys on their device. All right, now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you need to reuse your identity. Suppose, next year or next week or whatever, I come back to Lego or any other relying party, and I need to get verified. I'm going to hit Start Verifying. And here's the UI again that the user goes through. I put in my phone number, and this time when I hit Continue, the Trinsic network will notice that there's already a reusable ID associated with this phone number in the network. And sure enough, it says, oh, look, you've already been verified. But unfortunately, Trinsic can't access this data. So you need to authenticate in order to decrypt the data. So I'm going to hit Authenticate, present my passkey. The client will decrypt the reusable identity. As a user, I get a chance to see my data and hit consent before I share it with Lego. And that's it. That's the whole reusable identity verification process. So again, this flow can be completed without me narrating through it and talking you through each step of the process, right? It can be completed in as little as 10, 15 seconds, depending on how fast the user's connection is, basically, for an entirely end-to-end encrypted high assurance identity verification flow. And as a reminder, what you've seen here is something that if you're currently doing identity verification and using a document scanning process to verify your users, you can use a reusable identity solution like Trinsic here to verify it. You could augment your existing identity verification flow with our API to check whether your user has already been verified through one of the providers in the Trinsic network, or your existing vendor may be a provider that we've partnered with and that natively supports this kind of reusable identity. And if you're an identity verification provider and vendor, if you're not already doing reusable identity, I think that it would be wise to start doing so. As you can see, users can create a reusable identity in as little as one click in a Face ID, and they can present a reusable identity in as little as 10 seconds. So I tried to fill this demo time up with as much explanation as I could, but we're still left with a minute here. So maybe I'll end it early. I could also just go back through and get my identity verified another 5 or 6 times in the remaining time that we have. But instead, I think I'll end it early.
Thank you, Riley. Everyone, that was Riley Hughes with Trinsic. If you'd like to get a Trinsic demo, go to trinsic.id or scan this QR code. And if you'd like to vote for Trinsic for Best of Show, go to slido.com, punch in Peak IDV, or scan this QR code. Our next demo up is Incognia, presented by Mike Soto.
Incognia, the next-gen identity signal for fraud prevention and user verification. Best-in-class device ID, tamper detection, and exact location data fused together to create the new identification standard. Prevent fraud across the user journey without friction. Identify a user across devices with 17 times more precision than Face ID. A signal this strong belongs first in your fraud flow. Device signal plus location equals unmatched fraud prevention. Incognia, location identity for digital trust.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Soto, Senior Sales Engineer with Incognia. I want to talk to you a little bit about our unique approach before we jump into the demonstration. This layered approach provides organizations with a strong risk and fraud signal while providing confidence to enable more frictionless experiences for trusted users. Incognia's signal is ideal for organizations that want to bring in strong data signals into their own internal risk models and decisioning. Customers have the flexibility to integrate only key attributes and evidence from Incognia's risk assessment and decision off this data. Incognia supports cross-device fingerprinting, which means the solution can reliably identify users across multiple apps and devices, even after a factory reset. We achieve this by leveraging two components of proprietary technology. Exact location, by combining GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, fusing those signals together to form an identity signal. Persistent device fingerprint that is spoof-resistant, built on AI, and overcomes browser and OS challenges, as well as privacy restrictions. Incognia's location technology, or location fingerprint, has been developed over the last decade plus and has an accuracy of 7 to 10 feet indoors. Place-level location verification means Incognia can distinguish between good users and bad users on different floors in the same building. We can block fraudsters without disrupting good users, and works anywhere, scales globally. We'll jump into the demonstration now and show you what a good user and a bad user looks like. All right, so what we're going to do here is take a look at what a good user and a bad user looks like for Incognia. We're focused on the login use case. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at a good user. So the first one we're going to take a look at is this iPhone 13. And as we drill into it, we actually look and get the details for this particular device. So across the top, we have our timestamp. We have our event type is listed here. We have a low risk assessment. And you can also see the reasons why we've identified this particular risk assessment as low. You can see device integrity as well as the trusted location as being the reasons. In the middle, we've got our device IDs that are clearly stated here for installation, account, and assessment. You can also see the policy that's been applied to this particular assessment. Scrolling down just a bit, you can see the different pillars of evidence that we've got here. Starting with our device integrity, we're showing green across the board for root and jailbreak, emulator, GPS spoofing, and we even show the installation source. This is the very first thing that we check when we perform an assessment. We establish trust to make sure the signals coming from the device are indeed accurate. Scrolling down a bit more, we have our app tampering and the different sections here for app debugging, code injection, signature mismatch, all listed here, and they're all showing green. Looking at device fingerprinting, we can see how many accounts the device has accessed in the past 30 days, as well as any app reinstallations. App reinstallations are pretty important. They're indicative of whether or not a fraudster is attempting to break your device ID, which is something that we do really well. Additionally, when it comes to a location behavior, you can see clearly how far the device is from a trusted location. In this example, we're showing that it's just 13 meters away, so it's really close to a location that Incognia has seen before. And then you can also see here how location permissions have been allowed, the sensors are enabled, and whether or not we have a location match type, which is leveraging a Wi-Fi connection. All right, so now we're going to go back out and take a look at what a bad user looks like. So in this instance, again, we're going to go ahead and leverage another login use case. We're going to show you Pretty much the same that we just went through previously on the other example, which shows, again, login type. This one is high risk. We're showing you that multi-accounting is the primary reason. And as we hover over the +1, we can actually see this is due to multiple app installations. Scrolling down a bit, we have the device IDs are listed here for installation account and the assessment ID, as well as the policy that's been applied to it. This time, we're going to see some different things relative to device fingerprinting. So starting again with device integrity, we can see the root and jailbreak are showing green, emulator is green, GPS spoofing is green, so we can trust the signals that are coming from it. But this time around, we actually see that this device accessed 8 accounts in the last 30 days. For this particular example, the rules have been configured to show that anything more than 4 accounts accessed in the previous 30 days are going to trigger an alert. So this is something that's out of range for this particular assessment. And then we also see here, we're triggering app reinstallations, right? We're kind of at the edge here, but we can see that when we combine the previously accessed accounts along with the app reinstallation, those two reasonings are combining for a high risk. Lastly, we can see on the location behavior, if you recall from the previous assessment we demonstrated earlier, there was that device was about 13 meters from a trusted location. This one's over 1,200 kilometers away from a trusted location. So again, that's a signal that says we shouldn't trust this device and trigger a high-risk assessment. All right, Steve, those are the 2 examples I wanted to cover very briefly.
Thanks, Mike. Everyone, that was Mike Soto with Incognia. With Incognia, you can prevent fraud and scams without friction. Scan this QR code and you'll get access to Incognia's primer about device fingerprinting. And if you'd like to vote for Incognia for Best of Show, go to slido.com or scan this QR code. Our next and final demo is with Facia, presented by Hashim bin Akeb.
Identity fraud is a growing threat. Fake IDs and deepfakes compromise security. Facia eliminates these concerns with its liveness detection technology. In less than a second, Facia verifies anyone, anywhere, with just a camera. No frustration, no delays, just seamless and secure authentication. Less than 1% FRR even in non-ideal real-world conditions. 0 false acceptance rate. World's fastest response less than 1 second. Passive and active liveness detection. iBeta Level 2 compliant. 1-to-1 matching. Even after years, Facia accurately verifies your identity by comparing your face to your ID documents. It tackles the age factor and discrepancies between old and new images. 1-to-N matching. Facia can scan and match faces in massive databases of volumes up to 1 million images in under 5 seconds, ensuring seamless verification in any scenario. Advanced age estimation. Our algorithms provide accurate age estimation, adding another layer of security to your system. Forget outdated security measures. Facia, the now and future of liveness detection. Stop fraudsters, not customers.
Hey there, Hashim here again. So this is Facia. This is what you'll see when you download or install Facia into your devices or your mobiles as well. So this is the dashboard that you'll see once you click on the app, once you go into the website. Here you'll get to see every single thing that you've been doing. Under here are transactions that you'll see. Every service that you use will be shown over here, what the transaction type was, what image was used, and what's the status, right? So let's go on to the first service. It's about liveness detection. Why is liveness important? Liveness is important because it detects whether a person is real or not, or whether it's a deep fake talking to you. So right now I'll check myself if I'm a live person or if I'm a deep fake, right? And this way you can actually know either you're talking to a robot or you're talking to a real person. So now I'll go in, right? So that's it. That's how quick it detects whether a person is real or not. Now let's see the result. It'll be a positive result. And liveness is different from face matching because liveness happens in real time, and that's it. You can see that my liveness has been verified. So that means that I am a real person that's talking to you. So that is what liveness is, right? Now on to the face match. Now what face match does, it matches your face with a document in another database, right? So here I'm going to take a selfie, get closer, right? Here I took a selfie, and now I'm just gonna upload a document from over here. Now what this will do is it will match my face to the said document, which will then detect what percentage of similarity is there between both of us, right? So here I have now attached my document over here, and it's now processing. Now let's see what the result comes. And as you can see, it's an 82% match. So that's a pretty good score. You can verify a person if it's real or not. Right, now on to face search. I have a few enrolled faces of mine over here, and I'll take another selfie just so that these selfies can be compared to the other ones, right? I'll just, move a bit back, capture image. And now that I have changed a bit of my position and captured image, you can see that the similarity index shown are pretty high. All right, so now let's move on to age estimation. I'll just take a selfie. Okay, so this is a selfie that I've taken. It's processing. Oh, it's actually really close to what my actual age is. I am kind of in that bracket. So yeah, these are how you go through Facia. This is what Facia does for you, right? Now, where can these services be used? Liveness detection, like I've mentioned, it detects a person under a second. You can install it in your cameras, and whenever someone's walking, you can detect them. You can match them to a database, right? Face matching, it's very basic. You take someone's image, you match it to the database. You can use it in attendance systems, you can use it in banks to check out your customers, your clients, etc. Face search can be used to verify a person, whether they have any red flags on them or something. It is really helpful to keep yourself in the safe side. Age estimation, like, then again, can be used in various websites so that you can put a barrier on it before actually letting someone in. So here is this enrollment feature. You can enroll different types of faces. As soon as one face is captured, it automatically gets into an enrolled face. I've taken several of my images that are enrolled over here. Then here's the billing. This billing shows you how many verifications have actually been performed and how many do you have left. So we had a total of 50 verifications. I've currently performed 14, while the remaining are 36. It shows everything over here. In the API documentation, there are several APIs that can help you install into websites, into your devices, be it a mobile or be it your laptop or MacBook, right? So now coming back to the dashboard, our dashboard shows what we've done. It shows how many we passed. It showed how many we failed, right? So this is where it all happens. This is where you can come and see. So thank you.
Thank you, Hashim. Everyone, that was Hashim bin Akeb with Facia. Facia, the now and future liveness detection. Stop fraudsters, not customers. If you're interested in more from Facia, go to facia.ai. And finally, if you want to vote Best of Show for Facia, go to slido.com, punch in Peak IDV, or scan this QR code. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes Peak IDV Demo Day. I hope you enjoyed watching all of these demos from all 9 companies. There's one step left though. Please go to slido.com and punch in Peak IDV so that you can vote for Best of Show. You can cast your vote for up to 3 companies and you have until May 16th to do so. Finally, I'd like to thank all of today's presenters and all of the companies that participated in Demo Day. I'm Steve Craig, signing off. I hope you have a great rest of your day.